Good morning, dear students. As discussed in the last class, today we are going to start our BEEHIVE book. But before starting, I would like to mention that I'll be giving homework in the middle of the video. I'll be describing what homework you have to do today. See, this COVID situation will not continue for the whole year this time, and your copies will be checked. So better to complete copies on time. Whatever homework is assigned per day, please keep doing it. Let us start our video and be very attentive so that you may know what the homework is. So today, as you can see on your screen, will be starting the book BEEHIVE of class 9th. Let us move further. And the poem of the day is the first poem, The Road Not Taken, by our very favorite poet, Robert Frost. Isn't he your also favorite? He would be, because he writes superb poem which would be based on nature and human connection with nature. So let us know something about Robert Frost before going to the poem. Robert Frost was a famous American poet. He was born in San Francisco on March 26, 1874. He has written many beautiful works, and his main theme is to connect to the nature. Connect yourself to nature and make your life beautiful. So this is our poet whose poem we are going to see. Introduction of the poem. This poem is sort of narrative. When you read, a person will be narrating or telling the poem. Okay? And it is a kind of photographic depiction. Photographic means where while reading the text, you will imagine the exact photo. It consists of stanzas, 4 stanzas of 5 lines each. And the rhyming scheme of the poem is A, B, A, A, B. Now what is rhyme scheme? For example, when you see this wood, first line of the poem is 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. So line ends with wood. And sorry, I could not travel both. And the last word is both. And be one traveler, long I stood. Now if you see wood and stood both are rhyming. Now this word wood, W-O-O-D, and the rhyming word of wood is stood. So we name the first line as A. And if the second line is not rhyming, wood and both is not rhyming, so we will name it with another alphabet B. But stood is rhyming, so we'll keep stood as A. Again, stood and could are rhyming. Would, stood and could are rhyming. So for could, again we will write A. And both and undergrowth are rhyming, so we'll say B. So when we see first line A, take a wood, thereafter stood, so B and then A. And then could, again A. And then undergrowth is as same as wood. Both. So both and undergrowth are BB, whereas would, stood and could are A, and A. So this is how we find out the rhyme scheme of the poem. Before going to the theme, which you can derive yourself after seeing the poem, let us go to the poem. Okay? See, the road not taken, as the name itself indicates that someone is thinking about the road which the person has not traveled, which the person could not travel on. Okay, so let us go to the poem and then we will go to central theme. Now your first homework is write the name of the poem, write about the poet, these first second point, these 2 points you have to write in copy. Thereafter you will write this introduction of the poem, both the points, and thereafter we'll see the title, justification. Okay, these 3 things you have to write today. Let us move further with the poem. Now the lines of the poem. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. Here's the meaning. Diverged means went in different direction. So here is your yellow wood, and The poet might be standing here, Robert Frost might be standing here, and two roads are diverging from this point. Diverging means moving in different direction. And the poet can travel only on one road and has to leave the second road. The poet can travel only on one road and has to leave the second road. So the poet is feeling regretful only because he could not travel on both the roads. Now, let us just go to the theme and then we'll come again to the poem. See, in our life, we get choices. For example, if you have to eat something and your mother says you can eat either chapati or you can eat rice. So you get two options. Now, once you started eating chapati, you can, eating rice is simple. But ek bar, if your stomach is full, can you eat the rice again? No. So that is what about choices in life. Similarly, for taking subjects. For example, in 9th, you had got a choice to select either maths or English. And you selected maths. Then, could you ever select English? No. For your further studies, only you will continue with maths. So this is what choice is. Poet wants to tell us that only. What? Once we choose something in human life, man deals with this dilemma. What? That we have to make a choice. And out of those choice, we have to select, out of the two, we have to select only one. And once we select that one, ek bar, we select that one, we will have to be continuing with that one. We cannot leave. We have to move on that very same path. We have to follow that very same choice. Okay? Man as an individual cannot take up all the choices. You cannot select both the subjects, and you cannot even study. You cannot study both the subjects together even if you select, because your course is only either of one. I gave example that your course offers you maths and English. If you study both, and whole day person is teaching you math, another day a whole person is teaching you English, would you be able to concentrate on one subject? It might not be. So similarly, the choices in life, we get two paths in front of us, two choices, out of which you have to select one. And it's not necessary that what you have chosen would be correct. So the man, this human being, always yearns, always keeps thinking about the things which he denies. Mother offered you ice cream. For example, your mother offered you ice cream. You said, no, I won't eat ice cream. I want to drink cold drink. Once you had your cold drink and your smaller brother or sister is eating ice cream, then you start thinking, no, I should have taken ice cream. I should have eaten ice cream. It would be better than the cold drink. Okay, so that is what the human nature is. Man keeps yearning of the things that man had denied himself once. Okay, similarly, the poet also is thinking about the road which he had not taken. He had not taken the first road and he traveled the second road in the poem. And the poet, till the end, he keeps on thinking whether my choice will be right or not. Should I have taken this road, or am I doing correct taking this road or not? So the poet keeps on thinking. That's what the human nature is. Now let's come to the poem. So you have to write the word meaning also. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. Diverged means moving in a different direction. Okay, one here and one here. And now two roads diverged means two roads departed, moved in different direction. But what does this yellow wood mean? Yellow wood means forest. And yellow means that the forest had all the leaves which were yellowish in color. When does this happen? In autumn season. In autumn season, this forest will become yellowish color. Why? Because the leaves start to fall. Leaves become yellow and start falling, and in spring new leaves come. Okay, so the condition of the wood was what? Very disastrous, and the poet was in that dilemma, standing on that road in that dry yellow wood. And the second line, poet says, and sorry, I could not travel both. He says, I feel sorry. He is narrating to you that he could not travel both the roads. and be one traveler. Be one traveler means he could travel only on one road. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Means he stood where? He stood at the end of a road and he could see only till where? Till it bent in the undergrowth. Means, now see, second line I hope is clear. The third line he says one and be one traveler means he could travel only one road. And further he says long I stood. He said I was standing at a very far place from the end of the road and he was staring. He looked it down. Looked down what? The road. Looked down one road as far as I could. As far as his eyes could see the road. You cannot see the whole world with your eyes. But as far as Robert Frost could see, he was watching the road. But the road bent in the undergrowth. Undergrowth means some small bushes grew at the bending of the road. See, the road was like this. Here's our road, and this road he could see till here, and from here the road bent in the undergrowth means here small bushes and trees were grown, because of which he could not see further. He could not see the road from where it bent. So the poet says, I could see as far as I could see. I have seen the road and I could not see further. I cannot judge the road to which direction it might take me. Now this first paragraph is very interesting. Why? You also might someday stand in your life where you will have to make choices, where you have to stand in the deserted wood like this, akele ek wood mein, in a forest where it is autumn season, means in a place, in a situation where everything feels dead like. And that one day you have to think, you have to choose one path, you have to make a choice. And see, even if you are taking maths or biology, you cannot see how much far will it take you. You might have your own aims, but you cannot predict future. You cannot see as far as you want. You can only see as far as a human can reach. And that is what the poet also does and says. So here the road is symbolic. The road is symbolic. This symbolism is what? Of choices in our life. So what does road symbolize? Choices in our life. Today we will see this first stanza only. This is word meaning. Pause the video and write it. Summary we will see later on, and these are the question answers that also we will see later on. Today's homework is write the name of the poem, write about the poet, this first and second point. You have to write the introduction of the poem, first and second point both, and this is important. This is important. Here till full stop you can write, and here the second point complete you have to write. Okay. Now leave the central idea. You can leave title justification also, but word meaning is very necessary. Thereafter you will put stanza 1 in your copy. What you will put? Stanza 1, and you have to write summary sort of. What did you understand from stanza 1? And this particular thing I want in your copy very strictly, and I'll see in the evening class. Okay, that's all for today's video. This is a very short 15 minutes video. I hope you might go through it very seriously. Go through it and study. It's a very beautiful poem. Okay, we'll go further with this poem the next week. Thank you. Have a good day.